Hello there and welcome to Loco for Leeds. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United. I'm George and welcome along to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me from wherever you're listening to this in the world. It's very much appreciated, so thank you very much. And today I'm going to be doing a new sort of idea, a new episode from me, which is going to be called The Last 7 in Leeds, which is going to just round up the last 7 days in Leeds, all the news related to Leeds United and, what's happened and everything like that. Obviously, this will incorporate into it the match reviews, and also I'll have a look at our players out on loan as well and see how they did, as well as any news along the way relating to Leeds United. So let's get on with it then. And first and foremost, let's start with that away win on the weekend. Leeds beat Everton 1-0 at Goodison Park. I mean, fantastic result, this one. I wasn't really expecting a win, I'll be honest, from this match. I thought perhaps we might sneak a draw. I thought it'd be quite an open and entertaining game, which it was. Lots of chances for both sides. I think by the look of it, Leeds had the best chances. Harrison probably should have scored at least once. Put one wide, didn't he? Hit the post as well. Pickford made a couple of nice saves for Everton. Meslier as well in the other goal for us. He had a good game. Kept Everton out on a few occasions, and obviously comes away with back-to-back clean sheets, which is fantastic. But yeah, all round fantastic result. And for me, this one is the first one, the first win that we've had. I know we've had, obviously this is the fourth win of the season, but for me this is the one that kind of shows, us, the team, the squad, the fans. We all know we can mix it in this league, but it shows, people that don't quite know what Leeds United is about. It shows that we can win in games against teams away, Goodison Park, even with no fans. It's a tricky place to go. Everton only lost once there this season. And yeah, we've gone there and we've won. And Everton are this established Premier League side. I was thinking about it. We've obviously first season back in the Premier League for 16 years. Everton have been in the Premier League all that time. It's not your Fulham or your Sheffield United or your Villa, who have all had, obviously Fulham come up with us. Sheffield United and Villa are only the second consecutive season in it so far. So yeah, for me this was a fantastic result and just gives everybody connected with Leeds United a boost. Because like I say, we know we can do it against these teams, but to actually get results, because we've played well this season. I'm thinking of the Liverpool game in particular, opening game, where we played great, but we didn't come away with anything. This one, yeah, we played really well, but we came away with 3 points and a clean sheet as well to boot. And what a goal by Raphinha as well, his first goal for the club in only his second start. Brilliant, and I think Helder Costa is going to find it very tricky to get back into the team. Talking about Costa, I think he should have scored in that game. I mean, a couple of them should have scored. We should have probably had about 3 or 4 goals, really. Even Costa in his few minutes on the field, he had a glorious chance to seal the points, really. Obviously won in the end anyway, but it would have just made the last sort of few minutes injury time a little bit more comfortable, for everybody connected. But yeah, we ran out winners and very much deserved. I'm going to have a quick look at some of the stats on this game, just sort of to see how dominant we were, really. So we had 58% possession of the ball. Total shots on their goal, 23. Chances created, 19. to their 13. Big chances, 5 to their 2. Accurate passes, 453 to their 307. Success rate, 84% to their 79. Yeah, I mean, it was, it was crazy how we were so on top, we were so dominant. I mean, Everton, like I say, they did have chances. Decore, I know Meslier saved it well, but he should have probably scored there, in all honesty. And yeah, James Rodriguez had a chance as well, didn't he? But yeah, I mean, overall, I felt like, it sounds like we did play well. We deserved the win, and it's great to get a late winner, like I say, and shows that we can do it. We can't just play well against teams, but we can actually win the games as well against established Premier League sides. It's Chelsea up next, which is going to be it's going to be a real tough test. That one, Chelsea going well. For me, Frank Lampard don't really know how to play this team. He's got some wonderful players at his disposal, but for me, I don't know. When it clicks, it kind of clicks for Chelsea. If it doesn't, then I think we've got a chance here. And I think playing like we did against Everton, we definitely can hurt Chelsea and potentially get away with even a win. Maybe, who knows? But that one's for another day, isn't it? But yeah, overall, delighted with that win. Delighted with the 3 points, and we move on. So that was obviously the game at the end of the week. Going back into the week then, and some more big news really from Leeds United is Marcelo Bielsa, of course. He was nominated. He's been nominated for the FIFA Manager of the Year award. It was met with mixed reaction. Obviously, Leeds United fans, me included, absolutely delighted for Bielsa. And, I think from the outside, without knowing, without being Leeds, without being involved with Leeds and everything like that, it looks like, why have they done it? But, as a, from a Leeds fan and from a Leeds point of view, Marcelo Bielsa has been absolutely fantastic this year. From what he's done, he's not only taken us to the Premier League for the first time in 16 years, it's the way he's coached these players who are, by all means, let's be honest, a lot of them are still there from when he took over a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago. He's just coached them into being far and away better players than they were when he came in. I mean, look at Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips was, I must admit, I've said it before, but you'd have kind of happily got rid of Calvin Phillips a few years ago, particularly, well, the season maybe before Bielsa came in, and obviously the seasons that went before that. He was nothing special. You'd have happily said, oh, well, take some money for him and off he goes and offload him, because obviously he's a young, he's an academy product, but for me, he just wasn't good enough. He just wasn't. He was, he wasn't anywhere near the level obviously he is now. Obviously England international, he's the first name on the team sheet. I go back to those 2 clean sheets. I said Meslier, obviously the defence are going to be happy with that. But the reason for me why we've got them is Calvin Phillips. We missed him tremendously in those 2 games we got thrashed by Leicester and Crystal Palace. We missed him tremendously. That's the way it was. It was a big miss. He's come back in. It's no coincidence we've got 2 clean sheets out of 2. But there we go. It's all down to Bielsa. Obviously, Phillips' hard work has got to that position. England international, and he's a regular first name on the team sheet for Leeds United, I would say. But Bielsa, he's just coached him magnificently well. He's taught him that new DM position, which he plays unbelievably. It's his own position. really, and it's down to Bielsa. Players like Alioski, Cooper, even. These players, Dallas, who is versatile, yeah, but he was nowhere near the level he is now. He's just fantastic under Bielsa. Bielsa has just coached him, the way, coached him on the way to being a very, very good player. The likes of Click, who came in under Thomas Christiansen, and then he went out on loan because he just didn't quite seem to fit, or whatever reason, didn't click with Leeds. He's certainly clicked now as Click, and for me, he will, he is, again, like Phillips, one of the first names on the team sheet. Obviously, Bielsa's one of Bielsa's favourites. Played 90-odd consecutive games, I think it was. And for me, that just shows you Bielsa, in that summer where Heckingbottom left, came in, and Click was probably one of those players that he wanted to see whether he was going to go or stay. And he obviously found something. He saw something in Click that obviously Heckingbottom or Christiansen in particular didn't see. And, we're reaping the rewards as fans from Click's, from Click's performances in a Leeds United shirt ever since Bielsa came in. But this particular year, obviously that Bielsa is nominated. Yeah, I mean, Click has been fantastic in general for me, and he's another one of those players, along with Phillips, that has just improved 100 times what he was at before Bielsa came in. But yeah, Bielsa just, not only has he coached the team well, he's coached these average players, what he picked up into kind of Premier League players, like I say, beating the likes of Everton like we did on the weekend, and looking very, very comfortable. Not even comfortable, but very dangerous in the Premier League. It's unbelievable. Even the players like Jack Harrison, who came in, obviously still on loan, but young player, not played much first team football. He came in with Bielsa, and obviously he's just coached him into a much, much better player. Bamford, who Bielsa obviously has much faith in at the top of the pitch, and he's improved him, no doubt, as a striker. But it's like I say, it's not even just the players that he's coached into better players. Obviously got us into the Premier League, got us playing some fantastic football, which has been lauded by a lot of people. Now we're in the big league, really. But it's just the feeling he's created around Leeds United that is, for me, as it, not probably not on as a par as important, but it's don't underestimate the importance of that, because for me, he's just created this buzz around Leeds United, which wasn't there, 3-4 years ago, like I say, under Christiansen, under Heckingbottom, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you kind of got it a little bit with Gary Monk, who kind of galvanised everybody, but then it fell away again. And Bielsa has just created this, sort of family atmosphere at Leeds United. This kind of wonderful feeling of togetherness, and I think that just comes from him. To be fair, it probably comes from Radrazani and Victor Orta and Kinnear as well. But yeah, generally it's Bielsa who kind of generates that feeling of togetherness. We're all in it together, the team, the fans, the directors, the chairman. We're all there, and it's just that, to me as well, is why he should and deserves to be on this list. It's just the way he's got the City and Leeds United fans just feeling, together and pulling in the right direction, pulling in the same direction, because for many years before he's come in, it's just been a mismatch of players. It's been managers come and going. It's been, financial problems with Salino and GFH and all that. Bielsa has just galvanised everything, and he's just a humble bloke who, is just loves his football and, loves his team. And it looks like he's fallen in love with Leeds, of course, as well, and that's just some brilliant news. I really hope he wins it. Personally, I mean, let's talk about who he's up against. He's up against Lopetegui of Sevilla. He's up against Zinedine Zidane at Madrid, of course, Real Madrid. He's up against Jurgen Klopp of Liverpool, and he's up against Hansi Flick of Bayern Munich. So he's probably not going to win it. I mean, as Leeds fans, obviously you want to win it, but I think just being nominated, for me, that's enough. He's not going to win it. Personally, I don't think there's any chance he's going to win it. But just for him to be recognised is enough. I know it baffled a lot of people that really don't get Leeds, who just kind of hate Leeds for no particular. Well, you can understand why. Everybody's got a reason, haven't they? Most people do, for hating Leeds if you're going to hate them. But you've got to say, Bielsa, even if you're not a fan of Leeds United, you hate Leeds United for whatever reason, Bielsa is just, you can't hate Bielsa, the way he is, the way he comes across, the way he's so tactical, the way he runs his team. You can't dislike Bielsa, really. So for me, a lot of people, I don't know what it is, but people are going for, let's put Lampard. Why wasn't he in there? Why wasn't Dean Smith in there? Come on. It's obviously people will have arguments why they should be, but yeah, Bielsa has achieved something that a lot of people haven't, with a massive, massive football club, and like I say, he's galvanised the whole city. That and on top of coaching these sort of lot of average players into kind of fantastic Premier League players and international players now as well, in terms of Calvin Phillips getting his first cap for England under the management of Bielsa. So yeah, Bielsa deserves it for me. Doesn't deserve it for some, for other people. That's fair enough. Also in this week, Leeds renamed the East Stand after legendary player Jack Charlton. Obviously, he died, sadly died recently during the COVID times, and now the East Stand is being named after Charlton, which is fantastic, lovely touch. Legendary player, and sadly, obviously, like I say, sadly he passed away earlier on in the year. Like I say, in the lockdown times, very sad to lose another legend, but he's remembered, being named after having a stand named after him is brilliant. And I'm sure when the fans are allowed into the stadiums, it'll be an honour to sit in the Jack Charlton stand. Obviously, the stand's been named after other legend as well, Norman Hunter being one, who obviously as well sadly passed away earlier on in the year. Going on then into the fans news, obviously with the lockdown, it's a nightmare, isn't it? Obviously we're not allowed in the stadium. It's going to be a long time before Leeds fans are allowed in the stadium, because obviously Yorkshire and Leeds are still going to be in Tier 3. Obviously, cities that are in Tier 1 are allowed up to 4,000 fans in the stadium. That's only home fans. So will it hinder the away teams, going to those grounds that have a certain amount of fans in? Tier 2, there's going to be 2,000 fans in. So I think at Chelsea on Saturday, there's going to be 2,000 fans in Stamford Bridge, home fans. Obviously there won't be any away fans. Does it put the away team at an unfair advantage? I don't know, really, with so little amount of fans in. But then again, there are fans in there. There are going to be 2,000 fans in there. We're going to have no fans. Will it drive Chelsea on? You know, it is fans after having no fans for these number of months, these amount of games. I don't know how many games there are they've played with no fans, but it seems to have become a norm now, obviously. Will it drive them on having fans in there for the first time since March? You know, who knows? But obviously for us, sadly, we won't be allowed any fans in. I'm guessing for quite some time yet, really, which is quite sad. So as I'm going to have a look now at the under 23s, who of course as well played on Monday. It was a 2-1 win for the under 23s. Very late, they scored two. First team players involved was Rodrigo, Strauch, Costa and Roberts. The two latter players got the two late goals. Tyler Roberts got an equaliser, and then Helder Costa scored a lovely solo goal to get the win very, very late on. But yeah, will we see a couple of young players knocking on the door for first team action, particularly in the cup competitions? Potentially so. But that, of course, runs me nicely onto the FA Cup, which is the draw is on Monday. So let's see who we get. But we have a fair few players out on loan this season, and a few of them did play in the FA Cup over the weekend. Robbie Gotts played the full 90 minutes for Lincoln as they crashed out to Plymouth. And the two of our lads on loan went up against each other as Bradford lost to Oldham on the weekend 2-1, so Oldham go through. Hosanna and McCalmont both played the full 90 minutes. Also in League One over the weekend, Oxford beat Swindon. Swindon, where John Stevens is playing out on loan, he played 61 minutes of that 2-1 defeat for Swindon. Also in the week, he did play against Robbie Gotts in League One. He played the full 90 minutes of that game. Lincoln won 1-0. Gotts played 87 minutes, so pretty much all the game. Like I say, Gotts' team won 1-0 on that evening. Also out on loan is Barry Douglas in the Championship with Blackburn Rovers. He played the full 90 minutes as Blackburn beat Preston in midweek 3-0. Derby bragging rights for Blackburn for that one. 3-0 at Deepdale it was. Like I said, Douglas played the full 90 minutes. Then he was substituted in the 14th minute of Blackburn's 2-1 win over the weekend against Barnsley. I think he picked up a little bit of an injury. What's new, Leeds fans? He's always injured. Is Barry Douglas? Don't know if it's a serious one or not, really. But he came off. Just 14 minutes into that 2-1 win. Looking abroad, then at some of our loan lads out on loan. Rafa Mujika's on loan at Real Oviedo. He was an unused substitute in their game. And also playing in La Liga 2 is, of course, Mateus Bogus. He played the full 90 minutes as Logroñés beat Albacete 2-0. That was a midweek game. He also played on the weekend as his Logroñés team lost 3-0 to Mallorca. He played 60 minutes in that when he started the game. Was brought off after 60 minutes. So that's just about it then from me. I conclude it with the Lone Watch there. Thanks a lot for listening anyway. Marching on together, and I will see you on the next one.